Okay, hi, I'm back. Happy Wednesday. Um, Today I want to talk about Mr. Beast building wells in Africa. I think that this is wonderful. My favorite quote, Mr. Beast is doing more for global development than the United Nations. Yes, he is. And I want to talk about why individuals and not corporations or government entities will build the developing world. What will happen is it will be people like me and you and Mr. Beast, okay, who found some other way to use capitalism and economics to earn your own income, that you own your own dollars, and you personally go to the developing world, find a problem, and solve it. Mr. Beast, it looks like a year ago actually, he built two wells in another part of Africa. It looks like Cameroon. And then 4 days ago, he built 100 more wells. And I think it's incredible the power of individuals who are building content brands based on whatever and are getting advertising dollars and they're investing those dollars and using them for philanthropy. This is incredible because in this way, we can change the world. Corporations have money to spend on marketing. They need you to buy shit. As soon as people stop buying shit, that's when things stop. People can't just buy like food and water. Unfortunately, in Africa right now, though, a lot of people really are so poor that they can only afford like food and water and school. Like that's all they can afford right now. But as long as they're able to get those things, they can grow and become adults who then actually do participate in capitalism and buy a lot of shit. And now I'm not sure like why I think there's probably like a very long list of philanthropic endeavors that Mr. Beast and his organization and platform are going to work on. But I appreciate the lotus eaters who were like pushing back on kind of the race baiters in this case. Oh, Africa doesn't need the help. Oh, this is something. There's somebody else who was like working on the issue and they were like, well, we've been working on this for 10 years. It's not fair that he comes in and gets the publicity. Um First of all, Mr. Beast already has his own audience. He's got like 5 million subscribers or something like on his own that he built himself. So I mean, I don't like you. If he whatever he wants to do with his subscribers and his money, like you can't. I don't know if you have 5 subscribers or something, or you however far your personal brand influence goes. That sounds like a personal problem. But the thing that I'm struggling to understand with is it really feels like people are pushing back saying that like Africa didn't need the help. It's like, let's be clear, we're calling it the developing world for a reason. It is developing. Like the places that got the wells needed the wells. And the government wasn't going to build the wells. Like these people have been carrying the buckets of the water. Okay, I saw Burna Boy. He just made a video about where another black woman was carrying a bucket of water on her head, right? And he was like dancing with her. Like, be clear. Like, we have quite enough. We have so many black billionaires here. They ain't building not one well in Africa. They're not sending a copper penny over. Nothing. They're not helping no black people. They are watching all of the black people die. This is another reason why I'm going to say it now and say it loud. Stop the birth. Like, the black people here care nothing about being black. They have no pride in Africa. They're nothing. They just culturally don't give a shit. The black people in America, as you see, the culture is dying. The babies are dying. The men are dying. The women are leaving. Like, there's nothing left. Like, there ain't nothing to fight for. Like, at least in Africa, it is an actual place where people are actually starving, where there are actually like babies born every day who need nurses. They need all type of shit. They really have a need for these things. And there are people who are gonna like provide those things. Like Mr. Beast is just one example of just a person who built 100 fucking wells. It's gonna like give a lot of people clean water. Like so many people. He deserves so much praise. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. These are like so many more students who, like hopefully when I go to Africa, like I care a lot about like hunger, okay, and hunger in Africa and for African children to not be hungry and to be able to get an education. and to help develop Africa, so we can like literally like the wells that he built are using like technology. That's technology that's great and is like improving the globe. And I just want to tie this back to give some context here, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how like kind of like race and poverty are playing into each other. Like a lot of people continue to talk about like, oh, we don't need the help of like colonialists and blah 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 blah, and they always like to talk about shit like that. Like I understand if you want to have a serious conversation about colonialism and the specific things that happened and the atrocities and talk about reparations, that is a conversation that I think is fair to have, but you cannot have that conversation separate from the needs of people right now. Like right now in Africa, people need shit. They need food, they need water, they need education, they need like arts programs, okay, they need like childcare, they need transportation, like they need an economy, that like they need so much shit, and they need it like right now, like right now. And the weird part about this is like people continue to talk about like the Middle East and like Arab countries as though they're not literally in Africa, like Egypt, Jordan, all these places that have to do with like Palestinians and Muslims and Arabs. Those are like non-black people who are living in Africa, and like northern Africa. Egypt is in Africa, like let's be clear, like look at the continent and the map. But like so there's a lot of like, you know, Arab money and like oil and all these things, they have it. And yet still sub-Saharan Africa, West Africa, the black parts of Africa are still very, very poor. And the people, the Arabs who have the money, don't give a shit. They're not saying like, yes, let us go help. No, it was like 1 month ago when the Arabs were like murdering black Ethiopians because they were trying to migrate from a famine. Okay. They were like, fuck these people. They're not coming. We don't care. And they shot them dead. And we were all watching it. And now their people are dying. The Palestinians are dying. And I mean, I'm not saying they deserved it, but I am saying there's a lot more war coming. And usually people reap what they sow. Now, I did see something you know, this isn't a video about Arabs versus blacks. That's another video that we could get into on another day. I'm not interested in talking about that right now, but I do want to say to every African who is being critical of Mr. Beast, you need to hold a fucking mirror up to yourself and ask, what were you doing? And especially like if you were in America right now, hold a fucking mirror up to all of the like black stars that you were supporting. This is why it's real. This is why representation is so fucking important, because y'all will be so quick to like talk about a Tory Lanez or talk about a Little Dookie, whatever, whoever it is that you're supporting. You're like giving them money, giving them all of these things, advertising dollars, campaigns, all type of shit. And there are people starving and they don't care. Like, let me be the first to like, let's make it clear, like The Weeknd is a very huge international Ethiopian star, and I don't really see him doing shit for Ethiopia to help poor people. He is a problem too. Like his personal family, yeah, they're probably like global elites at this point and doing very great. That's one fucking family. That's the issue with Africa on a whole. Okay, like you have like a couple of families who are very wealthy and they have all of the money. This is what the Lotus Eaters are talking about. The US has given it was like 300 some million just in food aid like last year. Where did that fucking money go? There are literal like corrupt leaders who are stealing the food from poor people. Like imagine that. Like we got a lot of issues to fix in-house before we can start like turning away white YouTubers who are building wells it's providing like clean drinking water to just other humans who need clean drinking water. Like we're not at a place we aren't that continent is not developed enough to be turning away clean drinking water. We're just not there yet. And the sad part about this is like, yes, Mr. Beast is wealthy, but he's not even the wealthiest. Okay, there are people who are way more wealthy than him, and they're doing so much less. They're doing so much less because they don't give a shit. Be clear, isn't Elon Musk the richest person on planet Earth? You do know he's from South Africa. He probably hasn't fed one South African child ever. Like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, the people who believe in capitalism want to use their capitalism to fund shit that they care about. Like, he cares about space. even though the people on earth are dying. Like, it doesn't matter. That's who has the power right now, and that's who has the money. And I think that especially if you're a black person, if you're a black woman specifically, use your empathy tokens to understand like your place in society now, and historically how far you have come and how much freedom that you have right now to use your fucking voice to say something about it. Hold these like losers in the black community up to the fucking fire. If you're coming for Mr. Beast, come for P. Diddy just as hard. Come for Jay-Z just as hard. Because they didn't do shit. Any African who has any criticism for this particular act, you got issues. You got other shit. You got a lot of other people who have done nothing. They didn't build not a one well. They didn't even donate. At least Jaden Smith, didn't he create a water bottle or something? Like a fucking water tub? Like, at least he did that. These other people didn't do nothing. Like, not a zero, zippy zero. Zippy, zip, 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 but nothing. Okay?